why so many words have many definitions when you look at the Hebrew. But when you go to a Hebrew lexicon, like the Strong's, which is like an entry-level lexicon, one thing you're going to learn with me is I like to define terms. So you look up yom, and it is from a unused root, which means to be hot. That right there should spark something in your head. Say, okay, why is it from a root that means to be hot? Okay? Now, the outline biblical usage says day, time, year. When you look at prophecy, when you're talking about prophecy, a day means a year. So there's a context to everything. Every time you see a word, so you may see yom in Hebrew, or you may see day in the text. But what is the context around it? So we always have to establish the context. We've taken things out of context as a whole, as a people. We've taken so many things out of context that this is why we have so many doctrines and misunderstandings. But it says a day as opposed to night. I'm going to highlight a few things. A working day, and it says from the unused root meaning to be hot, a day as the warm hours was literal from sunrise to sunset, or from one sunset to sunset to the next, or figuratively,
yes,
a space of time defined by associated terms. One thing I want to make sure we're clear on is that when you're dealing with Strongs, I said this the last time we was here, when you're dealing with Strongs, it's great. We need to define these terms, because once you define them, you really get to the root of what's trying to be conveyed. But they will interject with their own doctrine, and it's usually Christian theology. All right, so let's make sure that we keep that in mind when we're going through. What was that? Or yes, correct. Thank you. Or it's usually Christian, but it's also they will interject it with Judaism. So what is the text saying? When we look at the text, it's literally saying, if you just read the text without any understanding of what's going on, this is what you can get from the text. Light was created, right? It was darkness. And then what did he do? He spoke, let there be what?
I said yes.
Light.
I just said
light
yes.
was created. That's just basic surface level understanding. He separated the light from the darkness. The darkness was already there because he had to create the light. He didn't create the darkness. The darkness was already there. So he created the light. The darkness was given a name. The darkness was given a name. The light was given a name. Right? This is all in the text. And then this phrase right here. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. What does this mean? Somebody. Just this one. The first day of creation is complete. So when it says there was evening and morning, the first day, this is signifying that the first day of creation is complete. Because we know when you go to the next sentence, then he begins to create something else, right? So the first day of creation is already complete. So this is what the text is not saying. This is going to the highlighted portions. And God called the light day, and he called the darkness night, and evening, and there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. It is not saying evening to evening was the first day. This is going to be probably the hardest thing for us to get through. This is the biggest barrier when trying to understand a day. Because we live in a certain culture where a day starts at midnight. But then when we look at the text, we see, the day starts at sunset, because this is what Judaism has been proposing, and they have a lock on the information that's out there. So if you, once again, you Google it, that's the information that you're going to get. But the text is literally not saying that. It's not saying that. What time do we believe that the Most High was working? So, okay, now let's bring it to our understanding. What time of day do you think he was working?
Day.
It's day. What is day? Give me some characteristics of day.
The sun's out.
The sun is out.
Light.
There's light. Any other characteristics of day? Like if we walk outside right now, what are you going to see? Birds, turkeys. There wasn't no birds at this point, but yeah, birds, turkeys.
Everything is awake.
Everything.
Yeah.
What was that? Everything is awake. There's another characteristic.
The sun is out.
The sun is out, but at this point there was no sun. But correct, the sun would be out. But what else? Let's think back to that unused root.
The trees are moving. Or you said the what?
When we went back to the definition of Yom, what was that?
It would be warmer.
It will be warm. Remember, the root word of Yom, it comes from an unused root that means to be hot or to be warm. So correct. So those are the characteristics of day. Now, so we said that if we look at the time of day that the Most High had to be working, it had to be light outside, right? Mm-hmm. So these are some of the characteristics of it. Consider this. If the text was saying that evening came, then morning, the first day, signifying that the first day
Shabbat
of
shalom, everybody.
completed, how can we establish a new day starting in the evening? Because once again, when you go to the next scripture, he's creating during the daytime. So why in the previous verse did it says, and that was the first day? If it don't make sense now, trust me, there's a lot of scriptures. There's at least 30 scriptures in this thing that we're going to hammer this home. If you don't get it right now, that's cool. Just stay tuned because I see your face. All right, so here's the troublesome scenario. When you present this information, we say, and even I, when it was first presented to me, because someone challenged me. They challenged me in a friendly way. But we was talking about, we was at a congregation, and, you know, I'll be honest, that, can I keep it real? So you get to a point to, you know, you're trying to walk out this walk, and then there's some things that seem like, oh, this is frustrating, this is hard, because we're living in a community or in a society to where we work at 9 to 5, and then if it's in the fall, what time does it get dark?
5, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? So you get to this point to where, okay, I gotta rush home, I gotta get to the store, I gotta get what I need to get, and make sure I'm at home and cook as fast as I possibly can, because once that sun goes down, I can't do anything else.
Right.
So it felt burdensome, right? Like, let's be honest. It felt burdensome. So we were at a congregation, and my wife actually was given a scenario of how she had to run back and forth, and then she forgot something at the store, and she couldn't go back to get it. I think
right.
That's how it went.
Yeah.
And so, you know, she was talking to the minister, and he says, well, have you thought about such and such? I'm gonna present it to you all today. But so he's like, have you thought about such and such? It's cold. And so he started mentioning certain scriptures, and it was teasers. But all you need to do is give somebody like me a teaser, and I'm gonna go on my own. You know, I'm gonna start researching myself. So he started giving me teasers, like, you know, Christ said this. Have you ever thought about that? You ever thought about this? So that's what I'm saying. Like, he challenged me, but it was in a friendly way, because it was something I had never heard before. It was like completely hearing another side of the story that was never ever mentioned at all. I was oblivious to it. So one thing that comes to my mind when he's saying this, I think I maybe even quoted it, is this, the Day of Atonement. So we got Leviticus 23, verses 26 through 32. Somebody want to read that for me?
And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Now on the 10th day of the 7th month is the Day of Atonement. It shall be for you a time of holy convocation. And you shall afflict yourselves and present a food offering to the Lord. And you shall not do any work on that very day, for it is a day of atonement, to make atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whoever is not afflicted on that day, on that very day, shall be cut off from his people. And whoever does any work on that very day, that person I will destroy from among his people. You shall not do any work. It is a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwelling places. It shall be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and you shall afflict yourselves. On the 9th day of the month, beginning at evening, from evening to evening, shall you keep your Shabbat.
Good job. So there's a few things from that text that, you know, someone who, like me, who wanted to present an objection could draw out of that. It says right there, from evening to evening. So what are you talking about? It says it in the text. And it's called what? The Day of Atonement. Evening to evening. Day of Atonement. So what are you talking about? It's the only thing that's logical, right? But I highlighted things for a reason. Because you have on the 10th day, you have to do something. On the 9th day, you have to do something. But it's called the Day of Atonement. So what is the text trying to convey? Did you catch it? And the Lord spoke to Moses saying, now on the 10th day of the 7th month is the Day of Atonement. Now skip down. And it should be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, that you shall afflict yourselves. And on the 9th day of the month, beginning at evening, from evening to evening, you should keep your Sabbath. So what is he saying right here? What's actually going on is from evening on the 9th day to evening on the 10th day.
It's the Day of Atonement.
It's telling you through the text that this is a time span of 2 different days. So it's actually telling you, from evening to evening you're going to keep your Sabbath. It's telling you that. Why? Okay. Okay, here's an example. It's all about the issue of context. The first came out red, all his body like a hairy cloak. So they called his name Esau. Esau and Jacob are twins, right?
Yeah.
Why did they give a description of Esau?
Because he looked different?
Because he looked different. That is the reason why they gave a description. If they were identical twins, they would have never. We already know they was twins. They were in the womb at the same time.
Right.
So they gave a description. The text is literally saying something. He looks different than his brother. There's something about him. His characteristics is different than the other one. So when we go back, so why is it saying? Why is there a 2-day span? And it's saying evening to evening. It's telling you evening to evening because that's different than what they normally. That's a different way of keeping the Sabbath than they normally kept it. That's why they're telling you, because what's already understood don't have to be said.
Right.
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 So it's telling you from evening to evening on here, because it's telling you the 10th day. I'm not adding to the text. From the evening on the 9th day, and on the 9th day of the month, from evening. So you got on the 9th day from evening, and then the following evening will be
the 10th day.
The 10th day.
Isn't it just for that just for 7th?
Exactly.
Yes, it's
for the Day of Atonement.
It's for this feast. It's
Hallelujah.
literally for this feast. Like I said, what's understood don't have to be explained. So that's why it's actually explained. The same reason why they explain what Esau looked like is the same reason why they're explaining evening to evening, because it's different than what they're used to. All right? Y'all follow me so far?
So that's why I posed the question, because when I was looking for the Sabbath day, defined it in the word, I went back and read that. Mm-hmm. But then when I read it, and I said, well, this is only associated with that feast.
Right.
So that's not defining what Sabbath day is. That's defining that just that festival day. So I'm like, that's why I posed the question.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy you did, because nowhere else in the text, outside of the Day of Atonement, do you see a Sabbath associated with evening and evening? Yeah. And we're going to go through these scriptures. We're going to really break it down and determine what is literally a day, because you have to understand what a day is. It is not what we think it is.
Right.
And that's the scripture that came in my mind also.
Yeah.
I said, what scripture is that that say evening to evening?
Yep. Let's talk about Day of Atonement.
That's where the confusion is caused right there.
Exactly. Somebody read this for me.
The flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offering for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day he is offered. It shall not leave any until morning.
Okay. So Leviticus 7:15 says the sacrifice of the peace offering needs to be eaten the same day. So, if they're doing this in the daytime, because sacrifices does happen at night, but let's say that they're doing it in the daytime. By the time the night comes, what is it? I mean, according to what we currently understand.
Evening.
By the time the night comes, then it's already a new day. So at that point, you're already in violation of Leviticus 7:15, because it says it should be eaten the same day. None should be left until morning. But we have to ask ourselves, well, why is it saying morning if it's saying the same day? Okay, let's say for example, okay, they're talking about at nighttime, but still, Morning, if you start that day at night, morning will still be the same day, correct?
Right.
Let's continue. Leviticus 22, 29 to 30. We have another scenario, just like that one. I'll just go ahead and read the other spots. On the same day, it shall be eaten. You shall leave none of it until morning. So there's a repetition. You have two witnesses right there. Why is it mentioning the morning? Jonah 4:7.
What was that previous scripture?
29 through 30.
Jonah 4:7. But when dawn, stop. What is dawn?
Sunrise.
The sunrise. Dawn is sunrise. But when dawn came up, the next what?
Day.
So what is this association we have right here?
Start of the day.
Dawn is being associated with what? The next day. God appointed a worm that attacked the plant, so it withered. Any questions about that text? John 11:9. Somebody read that.
Hamashiach answered, and there not 12 hours in the day? Are there not 12 hours in a day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world.
How many hours do we have in our day?
24.
We count 24 hours, right?
Right.
But who is that? Hebraic thought or is that Greek thought?
Greek. Definitely Greek.
So he posed the question: are there not 12 hours in the day? So if we just took let's snap back into our reality right now, right? So if we look at our reality and we say, are there not 12 hours in a day? What does that mean?
No.
I mean, we can give time frames or whatever. Somebody just take a shot at it. 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. It's simple. It wasn't nothing too complex. 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. So we have to figure out what are they trying to do by day. We're going to get there. We're slowly approaching it. We're building up. All right, go ahead. I'll read this one. Matthew 27:62. On the next day, which followed the day of preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees gathered together to Pilate. What is the day of preparation?
The day before the Shabbat?
It's the day before the Shabbat. Now, what are some things you would do on the day of preparation? I kind of actually mentioned it on when I was giving the scenario to me and my wife that we had went through.
Cooking meals for the trees for the next day.
You would cook your meals for the next day. What else? What else could you do?
Cleaning.
You can do your cleaning.
Here's the
Anything
difference
else?
if you're going to move.
You can gather your food. And anything you need to do that you know you're not supposed to do on Shabbat, then that's what the day of preparation is. What time does this take place?
At biblical day? It would have been during the daytime the day before. Because nowadays for us, we do it at night too.
Right.
Well, we do it at night.
Right.
But that's because we keep the Sabbath a different way. Remember, this is all about understanding it because the common view is evening to evening.
Okay, this is
That's the common view. So you couldn't do it at night.
right.
We do because now we understand something different. But when evening had
But
come,
then you have to look at it too. If we think about Hebrew days, they couldn't do it at night anyway.
There's no light.
There's no light.
man, why did you not listen to
I'm
it?
sorry.
Come on, man. I got more scriptures I got to
They have no electricity.
You got to teach my lesson, man. Mark 15:42. And when evening had come, since it was the day of preparation, that is the day before the Sabbath. I'm pointing to day because once again, we're going to literally break down what that means. Then, John 20:19, then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood in the midst and said to them, peace be with you. So here, we have the same day being associated with what?
Evening.
Same day being associated with evening. But there's even something about that evening that we have to understand. Are we supposed to mix light with darkness?
No.
Are we supposed to be unequally yoked?
No.
Is light supposed to have any fellowship with darkness? That's the
No.
You know what I mean? Okay. Light is not supposed to have any fellowship with darkness. We're going to find out what that means a little later. Because there's a lot of different shadows and types. When we look at the text, a lot of these things have double meanings. Double, sometimes even triple meanings of what's being conveyed. So we know, like you said, in the beginning, he separated light from darkness. We know we're not supposed to have, light is supposed to have fellowship with darkness. So you're not supposed to be unequally yoked. So a lot of these things are parallel. Now, when the Sabbath was passed, the Sabbath has passed, right? Okay. Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James, and Salome brought spices that they might come and anoint him. Somebody read verse 2.
Very early in the morning, on the first day of the week, they came to the tomb when the sun had risen.
Very early in the morning. Wait, let's back up. Now, when the Sabbath passed, those people got together, brought spices, that they might come and anoint him. When did they come to do this?
In the evening. For what I'm reading now. It seems like they did in the evening.
Oh, it says it.
Very early in the morning. On the first day, so it was early in the morning, wasn't day yet?
It was very early in the morning. So the Sabbath is passed. Okay, so we're putting evening to evening on trial right now. So if the Sabbath is evening to evening, that means you have evening and morning. That is one day. So that is still your Sabbath, according to that worldview, right?
Right.
But if you try to superimpose that right here, it doesn't fit.
Right.
Why? Because the Sabbath is past at this point. And we know that very early in the morning, the Sabbath is what day of the week? What day of the week is it?
Sunday.
It's the seventh day. So if the Sabbath is past, and now on the first day of the week, they're here very early in the morning when the sun had risen. It's there in the text. I know it's hard. To get it because we've been so accustomed to the whole evening to evening concept. But once again, this right here, if you try to superimpose that thought on here, it doesn't fit.
Yeah. It would
There's
still
no
be
way
that
you
day.
can make that fit within this text here. But let's continue. And Jesus said to him, "Assuredly I say to you, that today, even this night, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times." Somebody read that, y'all?
That today, you said the yoke?
Yep.
That today, even this night.
Wait, he say it again?
That today.
That today, even this night. So, looking at it from just a 24-hour time span, the day and the night from a 24-hour time span will be connected.
Right.
Because remember, day does have multiple definitions, right? So from 24-hour worldview, that will fit. But from an evening to evening Sabbath worldview, once again, you have another text that it doesn't fit because the day
It's its
even
own
this
thing.
Evening,
Right.
then now you're crossing over into a new day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So far, is any of this making sense?
Can you go get his blanket out the silver
I almost worked. This is where my man John over here trying to come in and teach my message. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no man can work. We're gonna really break this down. Okay, so let's go ahead and turkey back. Well, piggyback. Let's go ahead and turkey back on what John said, and start breaking this down. So.
No swine.
You have no fellowship. Light does not have no fellowship with darkness. And in Hebraic times, let's think about this. It's a nice picture. Who can work right here?
Nobody. It's too dark.
But the street lights will be on, right?
Those street lights.
They ain't have no street lights. How was they working at night then? What are you talking about? They were, what kind of people were these? As far as what did most of them do?
Carpenters, herders, farmers,
Agriculture.
agriculturists. Yeah.
So their work consisted of them being where?
In the field.
In the field. It consisted of them being outside. So when you look at the text, what he's saying is absolutely correct because they don't have the worldview that we have. Remember, we are Hebrews. This is our culture. This is our cultural literature that we're reading from our ancestors. They're saying that they couldn't work at night. There's no reason to have a Sabbath at night.
Right.
And the Sabbath is for you to not work.
Already. Right. That's good.
When you
That's
speak
good.
of day, you're literally speaking of something independent of night. Day is its own entity. And we're going to break this down a little further. But day is its own entity. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
He looking like, I hear you. I see where you're going. I don't know if I'm ready to follow you yet.
No.
Day is its own entity. Night is its own entity. Light and darkness. Judges 19:9. Somebody read this for me real quick, please.
It's not next to the computer. His father's law.
Don't worry.
Says to him,
It's not warming up.
behold, now the day is waning toward evening. Please spend the night. Behold, the day draws to its close. Lie cheer and let your heart be merry. And tomorrow you shall arise early in the morning for your journey and go home.
When it comes to this topic, this has so much meat in it. It has so much meat. I meant to highlight that. I forgot it. Behold, now the day has waned towards evening. What is evening?
Sunset.
It has waned towards. You know, we're gonna get to that in a second. I think you're slick. Spend the night. Wait, behold, now the day has waned towards evening. Spend the night. Wait, are these two things the same?
Apparently not.
Because, I mean, like, the day, it didn't wane towards night.
It
waned towards evening.
Evening.
Spend the night. Behold, the day, once again, going back to day, draws to its close. So the day, look, the day is drawn to its close. Because it's coming towards the evening. He wants the guy to spend the night. He said,
Shabbat shalom.
lodge here and let your heart be merry, and tomorrow you shall arise early in the morning. Wait. Tomorrow you shall arise. I thought the morning was the continuation of the previous day.
Night.
Right.
Wait, no. But this says arise early in the morning. Oh, I'm sorry. And tomorrow you shall arise early in the morning. For your journey and go home. These are all 4 different things.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's good.
The morning.
Take a picture of that real quick for me.
The morning is its own entity. Remember, there cannot be any light mixed with darkness. This thing is deeper when you really begin to think about it. Because guess what? Because you can't have light mixing with darkness, what do you need? You need something else. So what from a physical standpoint, when you look at the morning, what is the morning?
Sun's starting to come up, the dark is starting to go
That's like a
away.
picture of it, right?
Yes, actually, yeah.
You know, what that is that is something that's like the blending. It's not the day.
It's a transition.
It's not the night, but it is the transition point.
Yeah.
And so when you get to evening, you have another one.
Yeah.
You have the transition from morning into the day. It is not the same. And then from the day, you have a transition to evening, which takes you into what?
Night.
The night.
That's good. Yeah.
Think I'm on? Let's define some terms then. Lexicon. This is called Bokar. This means morning. Morning means the break of day. The coming of daylight. Beginning of day. That is the morning. The morning is the beginning of the day. And if you look at the legend, it says properly dawn. We already established earlier when I asked the question. Y'all already knew that off the top of your head. What was dawn? Y'all said it's sunrise. It is the break of day, generally morning. Day, early morning, morrow. Yom, we defined this earlier. Yom is what? Day. And it is a working day. They don't work at night. It is a working day. From an unused root, meaning what?
To be hot.
To be hot as the warm hours. A reb is evening. Would somebody read that yellow?
Evening, night, sunset.
A reb means sunset. Evening. Dusk. And this arrow here, we're going to go ahead and examine what this word right here. This is the ayin, resh, and that is a bait, or that's a bait, or bait. So this is a reb, and that is reb.
Yes, biblically speaking, yeah.
And this says, so that word is from the root word of reb, which means to become evening, to grow dark.
Shalom, Christy.
Grow dusky at sundown. These are 4 different things. And then we have night.
Opposite of day.
One of the words with the fewest definitions.
Right. It's one thing.
So we have 4 different entities in a day. Y'all follow me so far?
Yep.
So here's another troublesome scenario that this one kind of, I needed a little help with this one, getting past this, because I felt it was saying something different. I'm not going to read all of this, but what happened was Uncle Nehemiah, he'll tell you straight up that if you're going to try to come here and sell on the Shabbat, then I'm going to have to lay hands on you. It ain't going down. So this is what was going on. They were trying to bring stuff in on the Sabbath so that they can sell and all of this, right? So he says, so Uncle Nehemiah says, so it was the gates of Jerusalem as it began to be dark before the Sabbath. See, I was like, that's it right there. See, it says as it begins to get dark before the Sabbath. That was associating that with the Sabbath starting at night. It made sense to me. Then I commanded the gates to be shut. And shut the gates right before the Sabbath. And charged that they must not be opened until after the Sabbath. Then I posted some of my servants at the gates so that no burdens will be brought in this day. I'm telling you, Uncle Nehemiah was ready to handle them brothers. But when you look at the context, because that's where I stopped, as far as trying to prove my case, well, no, it starts in the evening. When you begin to look at the context, the very next verse on, it begins to make more sense. Now the merchants and sellers of all kinds of wares lodged outside of Jerusalem. So they hung out. They hung out there. Then I warned them and said, why do you spend the night around the wall? That right there is when it began to click for me. He shut the gates because they used to wait around at night. They wanted to be the first ones of, hey, I got this corn. This wheat, this barley. No, we're not about to get your products. Why are you staying here? If you do so again, somebody read that.
If you do so again, I will lay hands on you.
I will lay hands on you. It's not happening. Stop trying to bring this stuff here on the Sabbath. And from that time on, they came no more because they know Uncle Nehemiah was gangster. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves and that they should go and guard the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day.
Wow.
Does that make any sense? That's why he shut it, because they was hanging out.
Yeah.
Hanging out there. Any questions on that?
This is the book of Nehemiah, right?
This is it's Uncle Nehemiah. That's the book of Nehemiah right there, chapter 13. Yep. I will lay hands on you. And he ain't talking about I'm going to pray for you.
Right.
He ain't talking about that. Day and night is separate. So, throughout the text, and this is only a few examples, there's a theme that goes on where he says, something, something, day and night. Something, something, day and night. Why not just say, you're gonna be tormented every day?
Mm-hmm.
Day and night. Therefore, they are before the throne of God, and they serve him day and night in his temple. I'm just skip on down here. His Christ have come for the accusing of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night. Day and night, day and night, day and night. If y'all want to write those down, go ahead. Before I move on.
Will we be able to refer back to this some kind of way?
Y'all good? Day and night are separate. Okay. Jeremiah 33, 20 through 21. Thus says the Lord, if you can break my covenant with the day and my covenant with the night, so that there would not be day and night in their season, then my covenant may also be broken with David my servant, so that he shall have not a son to reign on his throne, and with the Levites the priests my ministers. So, why do he have two covenants? Because it doesn't say if you can break my covenant with the day and night. It says if you can break my covenant with the day and my covenant with the night. Jeremiah, is it the New Covenant chapter? Is that ain't that Jeremiah 33? He said, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. That's what he said. He didn't say, I'm going to make a new covenant with the house of Israel and a new covenant with the house of Judah. They're not two separate covenants. They're one covenant. He's bringing them back together, right? So why is he saying, if you can break my covenant with the day and my covenant with the night? It's because they're two different entities. They're their own product. Light and day, light and day, dark and night. They cannot mix. The scripture only speaks of a Sabbath day. It never testifies of a Sabbath night. So when it's saying the Sabbath day is literally talking about the daytime portions, because in the Hebraic mindset, that's what a day was.
Right.
It was when you can go outside and work. This is why he rested from his work, and because once again, think about it. If the Sabbath is a portion of it is in the nighttime, then that's useless. Because they couldn't work. So why make a Sabbath night if that's not what you do? Ain't what you do, cuz. So it only speaks of a Sabbath day. Every time the Sabbath is mentioned, it's either the Sabbath or the Sabbath day. Alright?
I didn't want to interrupt. I was just going to add to that. I was just going to say, because even in Scripture, when it talks about the Sabbath, it speaks of the animals resting. Correct. And the animals didn't work at night as well. So it just further confirms that it would have been daytime hours.
Yeah. Exactly. Does that make sense? Remember, there's two different covenants with the day and the covenant with the night. You good? We already discussed that multiple times. So we just go back to this recap. Are there not 12 hours in a day? So now that we know that there's two different covenants, light and darkness, not supposed to miss. Morning, evening, day, and night are four complete. They're all different things. Are they not 12 hours in a day? If anyone walks in the day, he does not stumble because he sees the light of this world. I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day.
Wow.
The night is coming when no man can work.
There it is.
More things to consider. We're about to get ready to end this right now. This is called A History of Time. And this is page 6 inside of this book. A variant of the Italian hours characteristic of, I don't know, what's that word?
Majorca?
Whatever. Was a 24-hour sequence counted from dawn. These are known as Babylonian hours. From a false opinion in ancient authors that the Babylonian day began at sunrise. In fact, it began at sunset. What did I just read?
That they implemented sunset to sunset or nighttime hours.
Who did it?
The Babylonians.
Where did we go to captivity?
Where we at?
What is the Talmud called? There are two types of Talmud. What is they called? Well, give me one of them. You say what?
Babylonian Talmud.
Babylonian Talmud. What was that captivity?
Babylon.
What do we call here right now?
Babylon.
Spiritual Babylon.
Every time we leave, and I was speaking to Andrew and Christiana earlier, and I was like, every time we go to a captivity, what did I mention that to you? Okay. Every time we go to a captivity, you bring something up. You bring something out with you.
Yeah.
When you look at Daniel, and when they went to captivity, the 3 Hebrew boys, what happened to them? They got new names. Exactly. They changed their name. Something always happens. You come back with customs. You always come back with customs, traits of any captivity. Like we have here in America, we're Hebrews. But what kind of mindset do we have?
Western American mind.
It's a Western mindset. Everything that we do is from the lens of a Western mindset. It's not from the lens of our people. And so, just like the traits, the habits, the customs, we take on those customs of the people who we are in. This is what happened. The Babylonians, according to this book, The History of Time, and the author is a very astute author, so you can check him out. His name is Franco Hoffer Stevens. Don't worry, I can't email y'all this PowerPoint. But he's a very astute author, and he says in his research that the Babylonian day began at sunset. So it's very clear how we can come out, and now we're like, oh, it starts at sunset. What else changed? After captivity, I
It's
can
funny,
say that.
Go back to that picture. It got the darkness on the top.
It actually does, huh?
Yeah.
And there's your separation. That's not evening right there.
Good
Okay.
eyes.
There's only 4 months mentioned prior to going into Babylon, the Babylonian captivity, in the scriptures. Other than that, they're called first month, second month, third month, fourth month.
12th month. Yeah.
Abib, Ziph. These are the only ones that's mentioned. And the reason why they're the only ones mentioned is because they're associated with the feast days. That's the only reason why they have significance. But after Babylon, this is what happened. We hear about Abib in Exodus, I believe. After Babylon, any one of you right now can go and Google the first month of the Jewish calendar. Matter of fact, somebody please do it. Let's go ahead and test this theory. Let's go ahead and test it. The first day of the Jewish calendar.
First month of the Jewish calendar.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The first month of the Jewish calendar is Nisan. Or Nisan.
Got that card too.
Right. So now every one of these, second month, it's changed. But there's something peculiar about this list. Can anyone point it out? There's an extreme change that shows how much, and these are in the scriptures. They after like the book of that, this stuff actually begins to be known in the scriptures. Say it again. Speak up, my brother. Be proud of yourself. Go ahead. What you say? Tammuz. What in the world is the Tammuz?
That's what they study.
This is the Talmud. Talmud.
You close. They related.
Sun God.
It's a god.
Yeah.
It's a Babylonian god. So now, that's one of the months. It's a Babylonian god.
Driving that Nissan.
Those are based on season. That's not the names that we have. Those are seasons, are they not?
Well, in the Hebraic mindset, the years. As a matter of fact, the year starts in a Hebraic sense. When? What time of the year?
Spring.
Spring. Right. That's when the year starts. So they know from and they will determine these things from examining the cultures. I mean, not the cultures, but the things that's going on with the seasons,
Elements
the
and
elements.
suns.
It was a lot of stuff, more complicated than that's not my area. But my brother Ron Shields, he actually gave a lesson on it, and when I saw his lesson, I was like, this actually makes a lot of sense. This is how you can have a calendar that you keep up with without actually having a physical calendar. But so, to make it plain, let's just say it starts in the spring, because it doesn't start before that. So it starts in the March, April time frame.
So the birds, the nest, the chirping, the flowers start to bloom.
Yep.
It's very pollen.
And so so we have the name of a Babylonian god on the calendar.
The Jewish people also have a 13th intercalary month. And
Intercalation, yeah.
I don't understand how we can't have a 13th month if we're keeping the new moons and things like that off of a lunar or a lunisolar calendar. There has to be a 13th month somewhere in order for the feast days to come in on time.
So that's
an interesting point. But there is, and like I say, I give all credit to my brother Ron Shields, is because I saw his lessons. He actually presented a calendar where you don't need intercalation. You don't need it. And yes, according to a lot of these things, some you would have to add either another month or some other stuff. You have to add a lot to it. So
yeah, his lesson, I did see that lesson. His lesson did explain why we don't have a 13
right.
month.
So
it's complicated. It's kind of
yeah, I mean it's a very in-depth lesson as well. What I'll do is I'll send it to you because that's not my area. That's not.
Yeah, but it makes sense when you look at it. You're like, okay.
I always want to know, well, how can you keep track of a calendar, when you're out in the wilderness? But his calendar, the one that he presented, I was like, okay, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. I can't explain it.
Is it the Enoch calendar?
No, not at all. Ooh, no, Lord.
It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a name.
Enoch calendar is off.
It involves observation. That's how they have to do it.
Yeah.
So
constellation,
moon. It's not the Enochian calendar. It's not none of these other things. Even the whole new moon being a dark moon or the first visible crescent. I don't keep that as well. Mm-hmm. But that's another topic, and I want to dive off into that. But I could
play the video.
Say that came out of Babylon as well. But I don't want to get into that right now. So okay, Tammuz. Just in case y'all was curious about this whole Tammuz character. Ezekiel 8:12-16. Then he said to me, Son of man, have you seen what the elders of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the room of his idols? For their sake, the Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. And he said to me, turn again, and you will see greater abominations that they are doing. So he brought me to the door of the north gate in the Lord's house, and to my dismay, women were sitting there weeping for Tammuz. Have y'all ever heard of Lent?
Yes.
What do they do on Lent? And they put the little
ash on their forehead.
There's a little ritual or tradition that they do. They weep. Has nothing to do with Christianity or any of that stuff. Weeping for Tammuz.
Right.
All of these things have an origin. Then he said to me, have you seen this, O son of man? And then they go on, I'll just read. And then he said to me, have you seen this, O son of man? Turn again, you will see greater abominations than these. So he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and there at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they were worshiping the sun toward the east. Yes, we have. Our people, at one point, were sun worshipers. Did a lot of stuff. That's why we're here.
Right. Good job.
So there's your Tammuz. That just proves that, you go into these captivities and you forget who you are. You forget where you come from.
Yeah.
Every time. And we get a little more lost. We get a little more lost. And a little more lost. This is what's going on right now. It's clearly a move of the Most High. Because look how long we've been gone.
Right.
Look how long we've been scattered. They got kicked out in 70 AD. And now people are waking up? This is clearly a move of the Most High. Any questions? This right here?
Hebrew.
Okay.
So did a lot of our people, after migrating to Africa, become Muslim?
Yes. They did.
Because they show us as Muslims before we came to America in a lot of the movies.
A lot of them did become Muslims.
Can I tell you a question?
Clearly not. I mean, a lot of them are Christians now.
Yeah.
So basically, you're looking at every quote-unquote day as like, day is considered, say for example, the first day of the week would be Sunday, light hours. And then you say first night. So you're looking at everything as first day and first night.
You could. It's not referenced as that in the text, but you could if it helps you understand it better. Because that's literally what's going on. Yeah, there's the separation of it. I'm going to read something real quick.
He had a question too.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, is there like a full calendar with the real Hebraic names?
No, because they all didn't have names.
I know I'm talking about for the calendar for the months.
You talking about just without the Babylonian stuff?
Yeah.
These are the only ones. The other one, if you look at the text, prior to this pre-exilic Israel, what you would see is everything was written by the name of the month. So you see okay, you don't see, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, I got it right. So you got the 7th month and the 8th month, and that's because they're associated with the fall feast. You have the 1st month and the 2nd month, they're associated with the spring feast. What are those? We're familiar with the feast days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first half is for the spring, the second half is for the fall.
Fall or harvest.
Outside of that, they was just mentioned, third month, 4th month, 5th month. So there is no full calendar like you see with this. They didn't possess that.
When are you all observing Pentecost?
I think it's June 10th. I have to check my calendar.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's the 10th.
I think so.
Are you having a gathering for that?
We will be talking about that. Yeah.
Yep. Let me read this real quick. So, like I say, in the Rebirth of a Nation group, there was a lot of this one question sparked a lot of curiosity, a lot of dialogue, which was good. It was not bad dialogue at all. People were giving their perspectives about how to keep the Sabbath and all this type of stuff. This one person, Josh, what happened was, I think it was Josh, did this Thursday, I think it was, he made a video. Just off the dome, no lesson, but just trying to elaborate on what was going on. Because there's only so much you can do when you're writing, typing something down. So he made a quick video where he elaborated on it. And here's one person right here, I'm not going to say the person's name, he says, "Man, I just want to thank the ministry for that teaching yesterday on Shabbat. It was so stressful on Fridays trying to shut down work for my business by sundown. And now understanding that it begins in the morning, in parentheses, which makes perfect sense, it relieved me of so much stress. Now I can close down my work and peacefully glide into the Shabbat without having to take some Prozac first." Smiley face, just playing. "Thank you again. This group and ministry is such a blessing, and happy Shabbat." So I hope that you're able to get something out of this, something that was not presented to you before. Like I say, if you don't, it's all cool. We're not going to tell you not to come fellowship with us. We're not that type of people. We're not dogmatic. But I think from the case that I presented, that is pretty clear that it starts from sunrise to sunset. What's your question?
So Sabbath starts from sunrise to sunset.
Mm-hmm. When you wake up in the morning.
Oh, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's what the kids do every Shabbat.
But when people who don't have this understanding, when they say Shabbat Shalom is be on Friday evening, you know what I do?
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I know.
You don't have to beat people over
right.
with your understanding.
Exactly.
If you get a chance to present it, then present it. If not, it's like we do this too much in our community where we want to beat people over the head with information.
Right.
No, just live like, okay, it's not the day you celebrate the Sabbath or you keep the Sabbath. Okay.
They just keep an extra
My
time.
mom, my brother, my sister, and move on.
Right.
All right, makes sense? There's another continuation to this. I want to have time for us to fellowship. But I want to get into the true purpose and the essence of what the Sabbath is, how we are supposed to be keeping the Sabbath. Because we've made the Sabbath a burden. There are some things that you can and cannot do. But we have made the Sabbath a burden. And we have taken a lot of things out of context. Anybody got a lighter?
Thanks.
Good job. So there's a scripture that says, do not kindle no fire on the Sabbath. I'm not giving nobody, I'm not saying this, what I'm saying right now is not to say.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. You said don't what? Don't
Kindle a fire
on the Sabbath.
I think that was, it's in here. You shall kindle no fire in all your dwelling places on the Sabbath day. I want to get y'all my back out.
Go back.
I lost my train of thought.
The lighter.
Oh, yeah. If we had a lighter right now, and I pulled it out and flicked it, then I just broke the Sabbath.
No. It's not kindling.
I'm not going into the lesson today. But it says do not kindle a fire. So if I just did that, and I flicked the lighter, did I just break the Sabbath? Because I'll tell you right now, when you look at Judaism, I would have. I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. No, okay, matter of fact, I'm going to tell you. It's wrong. No, I wouldn't have. All right, I don't even want to leave y'all out confused like that. I would not have broken the Sabbath. But there's a lot of things that's taken out of context. Because if that is the case, if me striking a lighter would have been breaking the Sabbath, just because it says do not kindle a fire in all your dwelling places, then you're going to have to explain these offerings that's going on the Sabbath. And you're going to have to explain these Sabbath offerings where you have to do the same exact thing when you got to kindle a fire. So there's a context to everything.
Yeah.
There's literally a context to everything. Of what you can and cannot do. There's certain scriptures where it may seem like it's saying something because it also tells us to not to leave out of your dwelling as well on the Sabbath. Look at y'all, broke the Sabbath. Y'all here. It's a context to everything.
Right.
Because what did they do on the Sabbath? They met at synagogues, right? So you have an apparent contradiction. No, you have a misinterpretation of the text. So I'm not going to get into that today. Probably the next time we get into it, I'll get into how we're actually supposed to keep the Sabbath so that we're not actually feeling oppressed on the Sabbath day when it's supposed to be a joyous occasion. We get together to fellowship, we have a good time together, and we go home. All right? Any more questions before I close this out?
When he's done, turn on the lights.
All right. Okay, we can close out. What's your question?
Okay, the Sabbath is from sunrise to sunset.
Correct. The Sabbath is from sunrise to sunset.
Is there a parameter of time for the preparation day?
No.
Okay.
No. You have the entire day and night because it's just a regular day.
Okay.
Can I give an example? Like there's been times, I think it was when we were out of town before and we were going into the Sabbath. So with our family size, I typically get like an extended stay type of hotel where I've gotten up early where the hotel didn't have breakfast, but I didn't want to buy on the Shabbat. I've gotten up early before the sun came up and made like pancakes on the griddle. Stuff like that. We did that for Feast of Tabernacles as well, where I got up early, like we're still dark technically, but the Shabbat had not started, and like gotten breakfast ready for when the kids woke up. So yeah, that's when we had a new understanding. Because before I'm like, I'm like I gotta get off at 5. And, oh my God, right? Especially in wintertime, asking to get off early, and because I'm like it's almost dark, yeah. So it's freeing, actually.
Good. All right.
Lay down.
Father, Abba Yah, we thank you for your word. We thank you for giving us the text so that we may know the expectations that